Good morning, my friends. Today is Saturday, the 13th of June, 2020, episode 90 of the Morning Mug. So totally pumped. It's the first time I've ever done it on Facebook. All of my friends on Facebook, I sent them an invitation to like the mug, and we're up to like 150 likes. So exciting. Thank you. So for those who are new to the Morning Mug, high school social studies teacher going on daily rants about miscellaneous things, trivia, this day in history, just a way to document this experience of quarantine and closure. This is episode 90, so 90 days in a row I've made some sort of video, and we're gonna keep on going. So some of you may be looking for episode 89. So instead of having, my formal notes and all of that, I just decided to spew. And I realized that some things that I said, I did not provide enough context for. And some of the things I talked about, I needed to say for me. So just, as much as this daily vlog is for you, it's also for me. So I made the professional decision not to post it. So I'm going to make some sort of little video clip or something, so it is on YouTube, so you know that you're not missing an episode. But I'm going to keep that one for me, keep it in the archive for now. Today is National Weed Your Garden Day. So 2 days ago, I told you the goal was yard work. Dear friend Carrie came over. Thank you, Carrie. You're the best. She's also a regular morning mugger. So, and we got 12 trash bags full of weeds and yard waste. Kudzu, lots of kudzu. We had a conversation, the kudzu and I, and I won. So, gonna get the side bed done today for National Weed Your Garden Day. The actual garden stuff is going pretty well. I have 2 raised beds going right now. Everything's still alive. That's a win. Mother Nature doing her thing. Today is National Sewing Machine Day. So there's, just like our conversation about the origin of the paperclip, there's a lot of different inventors with patents at different points in history. Some names: Charles Frederick Wiesenthal, a German living in England, getting a patent in 1755. Thomas Saint, his machine in 1790, but that wasn't marketed very much. So, but I'm fascinated with how this machine works. So I put a video in there for you. It's really short, about how a sewing machine actually functions. I'd like to get better. So, and Pat, maybe this summer we need to do a little tutorial. I make curtains. Mom helped me make curtains for my classroom. That counts. So that's there. Here we go. This day, we normally don't do this on the mug, but this is actually the commemoration of a death date. 323 BCE, Alexander the Great dies at the age of 33. Interesting historical figure. When I teach about him in AP World, we always say, anytime someone says Alexander the Great, we do a hair flip, because marble busts and depictions of him have, these flowing locks, so it's like Alexander the Great. And then we start doing it without ever actually having to say hair flip. You just kind of do it. Tutored by Aristotle, son of Philip of Macedon. Early on, he starts leading armies and conquering Macedon, Greece, Asia Minor, the whole way to northern India, the largest, single empire that the world had seen or would see for an extremely long time. Over 70 cities conquered along the way were named or renamed for Alexander, hence Alexandria. And at least 1, possibly 2, named after his horse Bucephalus. So Bucephala, his favorite horse. So isn't that like the ultimate life goal? I'm going to conquer, and I'm going to name a city after my horse. 1325, Ibn Battuta, interesting figure. He was a writer / traveler. The Europeans, we think Marco Polo, traveling and then later on writing or telling someone, and that person writes it down, about experiences. But Ibn Battuta begins his travel, starts in Tangiers, goes the whole way to Mecca. So Mecca's in Saudi Arabia. 24 years he was gone. He was a Muslim, And so looking at the world through his background and experiences, fabulous. He's almost always going to show up on the AP World exam in some capacity. 1920. The U.S. Postal Service decides to ban, I can't be serious on this. Yeah. 1920, the United States Postal Service bans the sending of human children through the post. Let that sink in. The first known case, 1913, parents sent their 10-month-old to grandma's house. Grandma was only about a mile away, cost 15 cents in postage, but they did insure the child for $50. So they didn't put the child in a box or anything. The postal worker would carry the child if the child could walk. In some cases, it was cheaper to ship or to mail something through the postal service than it was to physically travel there. So think that, the days before dropping your kid off at the airport, putting them on the plane, and then grandma being on the other side, little bit different. And that child, by the way, that went to grandma's house, there is no documentation whether the child was deposited in the mailbox or the letter slot. We will never know. Another famous case, 1914 in Idaho, Mary Piersdorf. She was 8 years old. She was, stamps were stuck to her coat, and she went the 73 miles. And there was a children's book written about her. So I have a few links in the description for you. Oh my. So talking about the Postal Service a little bit, that's going to take us Daily Dose of Hank. So those who are new to the Morning Mug, for episodes 51 through 100, every day we have a Daily Dose of Hanks, because he is one of my heroes. And he comes every day. Look, he makes his special appearance every day. How sweet is that? So there's an article that I've posted. Actually, take a look at it, please. It does connect to Tom Hanks's love of typewriters, but he also talks about his appreciation for the Postal Service. Excuse me, and how much he loves snail mail. So he said he uses the Postal Service just about every day. So he said there's nothing like getting something in the mail. I sent notes to 65 seniors this year. I sent notes to all the students I had this past semester. Just taking a little time, write them a quick note and send it in the mail. I did love using the Sesame Street stamps. I love those. And I just got a few sheets of Harlem Renaissance stamps. So I'm excited to start using those as well. Okay, back to our news. This day, 1967, Thurgood Marshall, attorney well known for his work with the NAACP and the Brown versus Board of Education Supreme Court case, is actually nominated as a Supreme Court Justice by President Lyndon B. Johnson, first African American appointed to the highest court in the land. 1978, the film version of Grease, starring Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta, premieres. 1995. Oh. Which one to play? Just a couple seconds. The album Jagged Little Pill by Alanis Morissette is released. And the next year it's going to win Grammy for Best Album. Why stress you out? My sweater is on backwards and inside out, and you say, how appropriate. Oh, I can't tell you how much time I've spent listening to that CD, including this morning. Listened to about 3/4 of it as I was prepping for all y'all today. Okay. Also found this interesting last year, so 2019, Archaeologists, I saw an article from the 12th, so I'm not sure, either yesterday or today. Archaeologists reporting on different cranogs, C-R-A-N-N-O-G-S, built in Scotland. So man-made little islands in lochs, L-O-C-H-S, lochs or lakes in Scotland, originally thought to be from the Iron Age. So about 800 to 40s BCE. But news research found that they're actually Neolithic. So they're talking at least 3,500 years old, older than Stonehenge, older than the pyramids. So cool! So there's an article from National Geographic for your perusal. Okay, here's a biggie. This is a biggie. This is a legal one. And I had to do all sorts of digging because I was like, hold on, wait a minute, this doesn't make sense. And I need to pull up some text for you because I closed the window. I want the full text. That's not the full text. So this day, 1966, the Supreme Court issued its decision on Miranda versus Arizona. So here's the story. 1963, a female is abducted. She is assaulted, sexually assaulted. And through the investigative process, she described the type of car that her assailant was driving. They did some searches, found a car that was somewhat similar, and the owner of the car, Ernesto Miranda, who previously had been charged with peeping and a few other offenses. So, oh, there it is. Perfect. He was not identified in a lineup. That's actually very hard to do. Eyewitness testimony has been disputed, and that's a whole other conversation. But he went through intense interrogation by law enforcement. He finally confessed, later recanted his confession. He didn't know that he didn't have to say anything. So he thought, well, the police are asking me questions. I have to answer. I have to respond. So it was brief. His confession details did not match the victim's story. He had an attorney appointed for him in his trial. No witnesses were called on his behalf. He was convicted, and soon the American Civil Liberties Union, the ACLU, took his case. Eventually getting to the Supreme Court, his conviction was overturned. As a result, we have what's called your Miranda warning, or your Miranda rights. And if you watch any Law and Order episodes, they will show up. They tend to stop partway through, which I found interesting. But here's the full Miranda warning. Some law enforcement groups actually have cards that they will physically read. Some of them have English on one side, Spanish on the other. So to ensure that these rights, which were upheld by the Supreme Court. Okay. You know what I should do? This just came to me. Please hold. Come on, computer. I'm happy it's a Saturday because you have extra time to watch this, right? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask you any questions. You have the right to have a lawyer with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop answering at any time. That's one version of the Miranda warning. Let me pull up another one. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used to be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to speak to an attorney and to have an attorney present during any questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one will be provided for you at the government's expense. Some versions of the Miranda warning that law enforcement use include, do you understand? After each part. You have the right to an attorney. Do you understand? So, pretty interesting. that we see it so often in TV, but knowing that is a thing. So, I'm gonna tell you a funny story. No names to protect the innocent. So, I always tell my law students, if you are ever arrested, even if it's falsely, you have the right to an attorney. Ask for a lawyer. Even if you didn't do it, ask for a lawyer. I probably already talked about this on the mug. Ask for a lawyer. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. It does not mean you are guilty. So, was having a bad day, chatted on the phone with one of the counselors. A student was brought in for questioning for an issue. I don't know the results of it. That's neither here nor there. And I said, oh my goodness. And she said, well, here's something funny. The parent called me and told me that the kid under 18, so they did fix this issue. He initially said, I don't need a lawyer. I don't need a lawyer. I had Miss Hetrick's law class. So I probably already told this story on the mug, but I'm telling it again because it's a good one. You obviously didn't listen to me, student. Get a lawyer. It's pretty funny though, right? Kids. They did get a lawyer, but I don't know actually what even the situation was or what the result was. Meh. Okay, so going back to Miranda versus Arizona, I found this incredibly interesting. So the Supreme Court overturned his conviction. Okay, so they said not a conviction. But he was retried by the state of Arizona. And I was like, hold on, wait a minute. Doesn't double jeopardy apply? That's in the Constitution. So I did some digging. Double jeopardy did not attach because the conviction was overturned. If in trial there was a mistrial or the jury had come back with a not guilty verdict, or there was some sort of plea arrangement, double jeopardy would have applied. He couldn't be charged again with the same crime, the same instance of that crime. But because the conviction was overturned, the state of Arizona was able to try him again. He was convicted later in 1966. So, pretty intense. This day, 1983, Pioneer 10 departs our solar system. Originally launched in 1972. This probe was sent on a mission to Jupiter. So launched in 72, reached Jupiter in 73, 620 million miles, took all sorts of photos, and it kept on going. Pioneer 10, the project ended 1997, traveling 6 billion miles on it. It's still going. A plaque, a 6x9 gold plaque with images of a male and female human, a star map with the location of our sun, as well as the flight path for Pioneer 10, and that was designed by Carl Sagan. Pretty cool. All right. Yep, this is almost a record, I think, for the longest mug ever. So props to all y'all if you're still watching. Bless you. So I started rearranging my office, totally moving things around. Want that done before going on vacation this summer, just so things are ready for next year. So did a lot of sorting, realized I have too many books. I don't know if I have too many books, but I have a lot of books, and a decent number of them I still need to read. So today's going to be a weed pulling, organizing, book reading kind of Saturday. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Behave, be good, be kind. Wash your hands. Continue to recycle. Take care of each other. Take care of our planet. And know your Miranda rights. Ask for a lawyer. Okay. See you tomorrow. Bye.